So basic difference between template and email, right? So today we'll see emails. Emails are built in the same way as templates are built. So ideally, the way you build emails, there is absolutely no difference. The biggest difference is templates can't be sent out as they can't be deployed. Emails are the ones that get deployed. Templates will help make your email build faster. So, for example, if you have a newsletter or like say a statement, right? Everybody has a bank account. Most of you must be having credit cards as well. So every month you get a credit card statement, and normally the only thing changing in the statement will be the dates, will be the amount you have swiped, and the total amount which you have to pay and the due date of for payment. Rest of the things, the layout, columns, tables, headers, everything remains the same. There might be some marketing material in your statement, which may change month on month, depending on which merchant your credit card bank has tied up with. But otherwise, the layout is the same. Now, if you have a use case, something like that, instead of building fresh emails every month, you spend some time building a template, and then that template can be reused every month by just changing the required content, which is changing. So that will allow you to build the statement email much faster. So that's the advantage of a template. Also, when it comes to templates, when we go, when you're actually doing production emails, your CSS, your media queries and things like that, those all can be added to the template itself. So this brings about standardization. So when you talk about standardization, when a person is building an email, that person does not need to manually add all the CSS script and all the media queries so that it renders fine across devices. Once you do it in the template, it will automatically replicate on all the emails which are using that template. So that's the biggest advantage of building out emails using a template. Now let's talk about emails. How do I build an email? I can go to Content Builder and start building an email. Or like last time, I can go to Email Studio and I can start building an email from there as well. So both the options are available. No, nothing much changes. There are a few options which change. I will show you those options. Let's look at Content Builder. I'll go back to my folder. This is my folder. I had made a template that day. Go to create. I go to email message. Now, if you see options here, you can create with a template. You can create with template plus AMP. Now, I know everybody knows, or if you guys don't know, let me enlighten you. The script language for personalization in Marketing Cloud is called AMP script. AMP script. We'll be doing that maybe on Monday. We'll start AMP scripting from Monday. Now, template plus AMP, right? Don't get confused. This is not AMP scripting, right? AMP is also another technology. It's called AHTML, and you guys can research on that if you want. But it's a Google thing which has come out, which allows you to create dynamic emails. It's all of you know HTML coding, so this is AHTML coding. So don't get confused. This AMP is not AMP scripting; it is AHTML. Of course, you can build using the email using HTML. So if your client, the process which your client has set is where uh, instead of giving you the email design, they're just giving you the HTML. So it's quite possible, and we're doing it also for some of our clients, where the client has a third-party vendor who builds out HTML. So the client might just give you the HTML saying, okay, here is the HTML, you can build out the email using this. So if that is the case, then you can select HTML and then just copy paste the HTML which was provided to you. We can take an example of that as well. HTML plus AMP again, right? If you want to use AHTML along with your HTML emails, then this is that option. Text only is something which I really doubt works anymore. This was there long time back, but for compliance reasons, there has to be an option for text only emails. Now these are emails which go to devices which don't support images and things like that, where we build a text only email. An existing email. So basically, if you want to use an existing email as a starting block, again, the newsletter or the statement example, you've created a statement for June. Now you want to create a statement for July. You can just, pick up the June statement as your starting point, and you can start making changes and save it as a July statement. So again, a fast way of building out emails where the structure of the email does not change. So let's do template. This must be familiar for, we saw this when building templates as well. I get to use these. If I've saved a template now, if you notice, I have saved this, right? I made this 2 days back. I can use this as my starting point. And of course, Marketing Cloud gives you its own. So you can use these also. Let's say I want to use something which Marketing Cloud has given. So let's take a very simple one. Let's take this as an example. Obviously, I need to give a name. I'll call it this. Push it to the correct folder. Now this is the template. Now what I need to do is whatever content the client has provided me with, I need to start entering it over here. For example, the number, if it's provided by the client, I'll just click on that and I will update the number. This is a fast way of building an email. In this way, I will populate whatever content is required based on the template which I selected. Now, it's quite possible that sometimes you may not need certain blocks. Now, these are called design blocks. It's quite possible I might not need a block for this current email. So that's fine. If I don't want, say, this one, I can just delete it. This will remain here because it's a part of the template. But as long as I don't enter any data in this, any design in this, it will not be visible when you're sending out the email. Since it's a template, it retains the structure. If you notice, you will not be able to delete it. Image, if I want to upload an image, I had some images that day. I'll just take something which I have. Okay, maybe this one. It's too big. It's too big. There you go. How to edit some text here? In this way, I will build out the email. I will fill up everything and I'll build it out. Subject line, important. Needs to be there. There is something called pre-header. Anybody knows the difference between subject line and pre-header? Or is it the same?
When we don't open an email, it is if the subject line is small, then it shows the next sentence which is used in the pre-header, I guess.
Means without opening that mail, we can see that.
Pre-header is generally telling about what the content contains about.
Only if the subject line is small, maybe before opening the email, we can see the header, pre-header, I guess.
Okay, so so partly correct. So ideally, you're right about the subject line. It can't be like 2 lines long. That's a very wrong subject line to have. But most important is for those clients which support pre-headers, right? So, for example, this is my inbox. Okay, this is my inbox. Now the settings which I have currently is that I can see the email, 1 row per email. You can change the settings and say 3 rows per email or 2 rows per email. So then what will happen is, if I have a pre-header, then on row 2 and row 3, I will get to see the pre-header. So it all depends on the setting as well. And this happens on all mail clients, right? Gmail, Hotmail, I don't remember. But Outlook, yes. Outlook 365 also, yes. And Gmail, definitely. So it all depends on settings. If your setting is just 1 row, then even if you've added a pre-header, you may not get to see it. But definitely, if you've added 1 or 2 rows for the each item of your inbox, then if you have a pre-header, you'll get to see it. And it's a good idea to have a pre-header. Subject line is something which helps you with your open rate, right? Open rate, basically, if you have a nice catchy subject line, then people will feel like opening your email. A pre-header enhances that, right? So you have a nice catchy subject line, and you also have a pre-header which might summarize what's there in the email. Obviously, subject line, you can't have it very long, but pre-header, you can maybe use some more to summarize what's in the email. So between subject line and pre-header, if it looks very attractive to the customer, he might actually open the email. So that is the advantage of using a pre-header. So yeah, let's assume this is my email. Now, obviously, I want to test it. Right? When you finish creation, you obviously test out. So how do you do that? And you can definitely add more blocks also, right? I showed you how to delete an existing block, but I can add more blocks as well. I want an extra text block. I can take this here. I can put it here. I can, add. So I can add blocks, delete blocks. I can do all that. Now testing. How do I test this mail up? Click on, once you save it, click on next. And you'll get to see a preview of your email. Now, this is a subscriber preview. What do you mean by subscriber preview? A subscriber preview is a preview of the email, how it will actually look when it goes to the intended person. Right? Now over here, it looks the same. Let me send it to anybody. It will look exactly like this only. Reason being, I have not done any personalization. If I do some personalization where I'm personalizing certain blocks, or I'm saying hi and the name of the person, then obviously it will change for each subscriber. So if it comes to me, it will be hi Mihir. If it goes to Mohit, it will be hi Mohit. Right. So it depends on what you have in your email. In our email, it's just the first sample, no personalization. So it looks the same. But in case you want to send a test message, what you need to do is this second box over here, which has this email icon and this, whatever this is, click on that. Now you have 2 options here. So remember, we had a long conversation on day 1 on test data extensions. So I kept saying that ensure that you mark if it's a sending data extension, if you want to use, if you want to do testing, you need to create a sending data extension and a test data extension. Because if you don't select the test option, then it won't be available here. So only those which are with the checkbox while creating the data extension had users testing, they will appear over here. If you have not ticked it, it will not come here. Now, if I'm not mistaken, my data extensions were testable. So that's why I can use these. Now, the difference. It's individual and test. If I use individual, then I can select 5 people at random. Right now, it's my email address. I can add more. I can add my personal address. Like this, I believe I can do 5. So I can put any 5 email addresses and this test email will go to them. If you do test data extension, then whichever names are there in that data extension, it will go to those people. So that's the difference between individuals and test data extensions. The advantage of using test data extension is that later on when we do personalization, hyper targeting, hyper personalization using AMP scripts and things like that, you may want to test the different permutation combinations of the data so that your email renders accordingly. So you will create AMP script to change the look and feel of the email. An image might disappear, a whole block might disappear, links might change depending on the person. So if you want to do all that testing, then the best way to do it is using a test data extension. If you do it individual, you can still do it. I'm not saying you can't do it, but it will be a manual process. Then you'll have to find those test records which are satisfying the condition and then test it out. So I'll show you that as well. So now I put in 2 email addresses, content personalization options based on this. There's a data extension. Now, Marketing Cloud is a little funny. 2 days back, I was working on an email on this instance of Marketing Cloud, and I had used this data extension. Automatically, it has picked up the same data extension and it has attached it to this email. Again, when I say attached to the email, that doesn't mean it's ready to send. It just attached it for testing. So right now, what it's going to do is it's going to give me a preview using this data. If you have some personalization content which needs to be validated, then you will need to change this data extension, and I'll show you how to do that. So now I put my email addresses. Now this is important, right? This is your from options. This contains sender profile and delivery profile. Now how it was set up and things like that, I'm not going to get to the details of that. That's like an administration level question. But basically you have something called a sender profile. What is a sender profile? Now when you receive emails, when you receive marketing emails, the email will come from some person. It could be marketing@eclerx.com, or it could be an actual person like Daryl.Menezes@eclerx.com. So all organizations will make a conscious decision of trying to figure out who the email should go from, all these marketing emails, transactional emails, and then that setup is done in your sender profile. Delivery profile, what is delivery profile? Delivery profile allows you to set up IPs. Now, I'm sending a mail, right? It's a big process. There's DNS and stuff like that. I don't want to get into that. But basically, if I'm sending a mail, I need to set up some IP values, some server settings, mail server settings, and things like that. Otherwise, the mail will not go. So that setting is under delivery profile. So whenever you guys want to test, at least for our instance, my recommendation to you is just change this from commercial to transactional and leave the rest the same. You don't need to change anything else. There's only one sender profile, and there's only one delivery profile. So you will not have any options to change that. But try to keep it transactional. Why transactional? Any answers to why this should be transactional and not commercial? It's okay, your answer may not be right. You can just guess. I'll tell you the difference first. Commercial basically means your marketing emails, right? You're promoting something. So those are commercial emails. Transactional emails are those emails which are like you purchase something from Amazon.com. The moment you finish your purchase and you paid for it, you'll get a receipt, right? That's a transactional email. You purchase books or tickets from bookmyshow.com. The moment you finish buying your ticket and paying for it, you get a ticket in your email. So that's a transactional email. So that's the difference between commercial and transactional. So my recommendation is to always try for testing and stuff like that. Always keep it as transactional. Any reasons why? Okay.
In transactional, we are not giving any link or landing page URL.
No, that's
Uh,
not the
if,
right answer.
if the sender email ID is in email unsubscribed, in that case also he will get the email communication if we select the transactional.
Not necessary. Not necessary. Right. So I'll tell you why. See, commercial emails or marketing emails have a lot of restrictions. Obviously, if he's unsubscribed, he will definitely not get it. But there are other restrictions as to how the content should be, how much imagery should be there, how much text should be there. There's a percentage ratio. How your subject line is. Does it have anything that says free or make money? Things like that. So it has a lot of restrictions. The government or the cyber branch of whichever organization, they always try and restrict such emails. So if you send this email out, I'm not saying you will put those subject lines, but if you try and send this out using a commercial email, it's quite possible that if you're sending it to Gmail, Hotmail, or even eClerks or even PayPal, the server might just block it, thinking it's a marketing email. Transactional email has a higher probability of it going out, simply because transactional emails, everybody knows it's for updates on transactions, and ideally there is no marketing material in transactional emails. So that's why, in order to ensure that your emails go, even if it's a test email or even if it's a proper email you're sending maybe to your friends or family, try to set this up as default transactional. I'm suppressing this from reports. It's up to you. If I keep it on, oh sorry, this should be on. My bad. Sorry, I'm keeping it suppressed because unnecessarily I don't want to report on all the testing that we're doing. Once you've set up all this, just say send test. You can see whom you're sending to. 2 people will get 1 message, and then I can say confirm. And in this way, you'll be able to send your test email. It'll come shortly. We'll check it out once it comes. Now, any questions on how to build out emails? This is a simple email. I'm not doing any personalization, nothing. I just took a template and I made some changes here and there, and I created the email. Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Now, let's talk about personalization. Now, in Marketing Cloud, there are 2 levels of personalization. The first level, the easier one, is and for those guys who are worked in email operations for PayPal, I know there's a tool called Harmony, and you're doing personalization using Harmony from the data which is sent into Harmony. I know you're doing that. So for those guys, the first method is quite similar to that. So basically, whatever is there in your data extension, whatever is added to your data extension, whatever attributes are there in your data extension, you can add all of them to your email. When I say add, you can display them. So that is the first level of personalization, or the easiest way of doing personalization. This is without doing AMP scripting. Let's take a look at that first. Now, how do you do that? So first and foremost, I need to attach a data extension. Now, right now, if you notice, a data extension is attached by default, but it is a wrong data extension. This is a data extension I told you of some other email which I was working on. I don't want to use this. I want to use a different data extension. So let's see how to attach a data extension. So one way to do it is in your email build only you can attach it. Other way to do it is when you come to preview, then you can do it. But doing it through preview is a wrong way, because ideally if I'm building, at that time I would like to know my attributes, right? There's no point, attaching it here and then coming back and then making changes. That's a waste of time.
Excuse me, sir.
Yeah.
Sir, your screen is not visible.
Screen is not, is it only for you or everybody?
No, it's visible.
Yeah, it's visible.
Okay, I'm going to stop sharing and I'll share again, right? For the benefit. Yeah. Okay, tell me if it's visible now.
Visible, sir.
Okay, great. So how do I add a data extension? There are multiple ways to do it. One way is you can do it in your subject line itself. By going to the subject line, I can add a data extension. That's one way of doing it. Second way is I can choose a text block. Like I have a text block here. By going into the text block, I can add a data extension. And the third way is without adding a data extension, I'll have to open another window in Audience Builder, just so that I can have reference to my data extension, which is a long method. I don't want to do that. I'll show you the easiest way. So you come here, you click here. Now you see this symbol of a person. Click on that. Now, this is the name of the data extension which it is currently connected by default. Competency underscore NC underscore sendee. Obviously, this is not the right data extension. I can click on choose new data source. Select the relevant data extension which I want. I'll use this for now. I've just clicked here. Now it's got attached. I know you can't see any changes, but it is attached. Now let's personalize the subject line first. So I want to give a person's name. Right? I want to add a person's name. So I click on this again. You see this? It's the data extension I wanted. So I'll say first name. Your CC statement. So this is the subject line I want. I can add some here as well. The same icon is here. So I can take this. Maybe I want to do last name now. I can add more stuff also. I want to put the person's email address. I want to make it bold. I can make it bold. I can even personalize your buttons, right? If I go to the button, this is learn more. If I want to personalize the name, I can do that. How do you do that? So first, observe the code. This is the code which is being used. Percentage, the attribute name, percentage. So I'll just copy it for now. And now I can just do it here. Let's see what else I have. So in that way, I can even personalize the buttons. What else is there in my data extension? Let's quickly see. So I have vertical, VRT. So I can use that also. So maybe I want to use it here. This is how I can do some personalization. Let's try to save this. I'm going to do personalization in the pre-header as well. Now, obviously these are error messages. And this error message has come because the data extension which is connected for preview is the wrong one. So obviously it is not finding the correct attribute names. I need to change that. So I come here, I select the correct data extension. And now these are my 4 records. So if I want to do a preview for, let's say, this record, I select it. See, the name is personalized. The button is personalized with the last name. In this case, it was S. Again, the last name is here. So it's again S. Email address, I've made it bold. Vertical is personalized over here. So this is the easiest and fastest way to personalize content in an email with elements from the data extension. Remember, this is a sending data extension. You cannot personalize this in this way with elements from any other data extension. It always has to be the data extension which is connected to this email. There will be instances where you need to personalize the email with data from other data extensions. That's a different way of doing it that we will see when we do AMP scripting. But without AMP scripting, if you want to do personalization, then this is a sample of how it needs to be done. I changed the subscriber. Click here. Let's do the next one. Now, if you see this one, it's Daryl here. Last name is not registered, so that's why this button text has become not registered, and this also became not registered. Email address is changed, and his vertical is intern, so that's why this thing became intern. So this is how you do your personalization. Any questions? Any confusion?
I have one question. Me, where you have assigned this data extension?
So I have not attached it yet.
Okay.
All that I've done is, since I have attached it, like you can say temporarily, I have attached it by clicking on this. Right now it is attached, but if it is not attached, you click on this and select the data extension.
Okay, got it.
The moment you do it in the email, then it gets attached temporarily only for everything in the email.
Okay. And pre-header means this is a snippet kind.
So pre-header, like I told you, right? If your inbox has the ability to show you, instead of only one line, if it has the ability to show you 2 or 3 lines per email, then the content of the pre-header will be visible in those lines.
Okay.
So this is the easiest way of personalization. Now, this is not the only thing you can do. There are many more things you can do, right? So again, this is all without AMP scripting, right? We will be doing AMP scripting. AMP scripting makes it very flexible. But what I'm trying to tell you is, even without the knowledge of AMP scripting, there are many things which you can do because of the sheer power of the platform. Now, there is something called hide and show. This is very famous. And hide and show is not an industry term. It is I think, an e-clerks term. And now everybody uses that word. So even I'm using it. But basically, what is hide and show? Hide and show basically means so these are blocks, right? These are all design blocks. Hide and show basically means you hide a block for certain people and you show the block for certain people. Use case. Let's say credit card, right? Everybody knows that when you buy a credit, when you take a credit card, the bank will always tell you there are different tiers: platinum, gold, silver, right? And each tier has its own advantages, right? So when marketing material is sent to people with credit cards, the marketing material for platinum members will be different, right? Platinum members are supposed to be rich people, so marketing material for them will be deals to top hotels, 5 stars, top restaurants. Silver people are gold people are little, cheaper people, so they will get deals to three-star hotels and regular restaurants. And then silver is ekdam, lower class, if I have to say. Sorry for that. They will get almost, deals will be very negligible. Right? So that is how credit card people do marketing. Now, if I'm the marketer, I'll tell you that, okay, I want to send out this marketing material. And for gold class people, it should be like this. For platinum class, it should be like this. For silver class, it should be like this. If this is your email, right? So what I want to do is, for platinum people, I want to show them, this is Apple, right? So I want to show them, for platinum, I want to show them Xbox. For gold, I want to show them Apple. And if it's silver, I don't want to show them only anything. Then, so basically, the mail will be the same. The only thing is this top block, and this is just an example. It could be any block or multiple blocks, but I'm just telling you as an example. This top block is changing. If it is platinum, it will be a Xbox image, and if it is gold, it will be the Apple, like how you're seeing it right now. And if it is silver, then this block only will not be there. So now that is the requirement. Now there are 2 ways to do this. One is you build 3 emails. 1 email for platinum, 1 email for gold, 1 email for silver. And then, you'll have to create other things. You'll have to take your data extension. You'll have to break it up, filter it out, platinum, gold, silver. I showed you how to do filtered data extension, right? So you'll have to do filters, and it's a long process. The smarter way is something called dynamic blocks. So we use the concept of dynamic blocks, where you will need only 1 data extension, 1 email, but the blocks will dynamically change based on the tier of the person. Right? So in this case, what we'll do is we'll say, do I have enough data? Okay. Don't have much data, so let's just add 1 more record. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is I have 3 different types. I have an intern, I have digital, and I have markets. So let's switch those blocks based on the vertical. It's a similar analogy. So how do we do that? So first and foremost is about blocks. Now this block is going to dynamically change. This is the block. Not even the whole block. It's just the image. I can dynamically change this image only. So how do I do that? See this option over here which says save block. I didn't show it to you before, but this is what we'll use now. Click on this. It says create a new image block. Click on that. It's not in the right folder, so I'm going to move it to the right folder. Save it. What have I done? Remember, I told you Content Builder is like your Windows Explorer. It hosts in emails, it hosts assets, and also it hosts what I just created is a block. This is an image block. So it is now stored over here, this image block. Now, I'm going to select another image. Let's say the Xbox, right? It was Xbox. So now I'm going to save this block also. Remember, the same you can do with AMP scripting as well, but I'm just showing you without AMP scripting. When we do AMP scripting, you will notice AMP scripting makes it even faster. Now, since this block has been saved, I get an option which says update. If I do update, obviously, as the word suggests, is going to update the existing one which I had created. I am just creating a new one. I don't want to update it. Again, store it in my folder. Okay. And the third block was blank, right? I don't want to show anything. So now I'm going to delete this. Oops, sorry, that's the wrong button. Okay. Now we've been using these blocks on top. Now we're going to do something which says dynamic content. If you see below here, there's something which says dynamic content. I'm going to use that. Take it, drag it, put it here. It gives you this funny looking block, right? Now look at the options available here. Ignore this for now. Default content. So what is the default content? A default content, by the word default, means if the criteria, so I'll be adding criteria over here. If it was the credit card company example, the criteria would be mostly there will be an attribute in the data extension called tier. Tier will be platinum, tier will be gold, tier will be silver. In our example, the criteria will be on sorry. The criteria will be on vertical. Our verticals are intern, digital, and markets. So these are my criteria. So when I say default, that means I can add multiple rules. These are rules, right? I'll be creating rules now. I can add multiple rules. If none of the rules are satisfied, then what do you want it to show? That is the meaning of default content. So remember I told you, let's say for digital, I want to show Xbox. For interns, I want to show PlayStation. Sorry, for interns, I want to show Apple. And for markets, I want to show nothing. Right? So basically, I'm going to be using that logic. Now, in case I wanted to show something for default, then I can put it over here, but I'm not doing it right now. Let's start creating rules. So so you have, the rules can be built either on profile attributes. When you say profile attributes, we're referring to the master data extension or the master list, which I showed you 2 days back. But I'm going to do it on the data extension. Now I'll have to select the data extension, obviously. And if this is confusing, don't worry, I will repeat myself. Now, I'm saying vertical is equal to digital. If the vertical equal to digital, I want to show the Xbox. See this content. It's asking me to select. Here is where I select the contents which I have saved. I say select. So I want to show Xbox. Click here. Save. So this is one rule I've created. If it is digital, you show the Xbox. Second rule. If the vertical is intern, I want to show the Apple symbol. This is the second rule I've made. And my third rule is if it is markets, then I don't want to show anything. So in that case, I will not make a new rule. Anyways, default is a blank. So if it is not an Xbox or not an, if it's not a digital or not intern, then it's going to be a blank. So I'm going to keep it as it is. You will not get to see it because it's a dynamic block. But when you run it, when you do a preview, that's when you'll get to see it. So let's try doing a preview. Okay, so this person, the vertical is intern. See, the Apple logo is visible. Next person, it's markets. The logo is vanished. So this is an example of hide and show. I showed it when it was an intern, but I hid it when it was markets as per the requirement. Digital, showing the PlayStation or the Xbox, whatever it is. So this is how we can do hide and show, which is a big requirement in most of your client emails without using AMP scripting. Any question, any confusion?
I have one question. While creating rules, what if there is a spelling mistake or like in the vertical section that we selected, instead of masters, if we write their master, then it will impact the whole.
What are you talking about? Are you master? Which master?
No, the vertical that we chose, you manually write it there, the vertical
This one.
name.
This one.
So
Okay,
instead of
let's-
digital, if we by mistake we
will-
write digitals, how it's going to impact?
It will not work. It will not give an error as well,
Huh.
but it will, even for digital now, it will show a blank block because the digital
Oh.
vertical is not there. Right. We can see how it works. See, this is intern. Digital is showing a blank
Okay.
because it's not, you can say it's not programmed only, no, for it.
Correct.
Any other questions, guys? Okay, I'll take that as a
So-
no.
Yeah, so Mir, how many rules can we set in a single mailer?
Are you talking about rules which can be set in the dynamic block? Like for example, in this
Yes.
block, how many rules, or in
Yeah.
a full mail, how many dynamic blocks?
In a full, like in full, or this dynamic content?
So if you're talking about, suppose each of these blocks, if you convert to dynamic content, each of
Mhm.
these,
Hmm.
I don't think there's any limitation. Just remember one thing, it will slow down drastically
Okay.
because whenever, so, when it's processing, when it's sending out an email, what it will do is it will basically check the data extension, it will run the code, it will create the email with the right blocks and then dispatch it. So if you have too many dynamic content blocks, just the send will be slow. there won't be any other issues. Just the send will be slow.
Okay, got it.
Okay. Now, what is the concept of A/B testing? Actually, before A/B testing, let us see how to deploy a mail. Now, right in the beginning, I told you guys that there are multiple ways to send out an email. One is ad hoc send, or one-off, we call it. Or in SFMC language, it is called user-initiated send. Second is using Journey Builder. When we do Journey Builder, I'll show you. Third is using Automation Studio. Again, when we do Automation Studio, I'll show you. Fourth is triggered sends. Triggered sends will be, example is same thing, right? You bought movie ticket from bookmyshow.com. The moment you purchase, automatically an email comes to you. Nobody's manually sending it, it's automatic. So that's a triggered send. So today we'll see the first one, which is your user-initiated sends. So how do you do that? I'm going to save and exit this for now. Now, all of you have permission to send emails. You can send out. Just be very careful when you're sending out emails. Try not to send it to live people, right? And when I say live, like your clients and things like that. You can send it to your test email addresses, your personal Hotmail, Gmail, and things like that. You can do that. Okay. Now, this is my email. Then you have some options over here, but I can't send it from here. If I want to send, I have to go to Email Studio. Wait, 1 second. You go to Email Studio. And the email you've been working on, it will be visible over here. Right? That email is seen over here. You can use it directly from here. So you can just click on this. No, it's surprisingly slow today. So this is the email. If you remember, there's an option to send here. You click on send. Now, this box is familiar, I guess. I just showed you guys. So you need to, and remember now the setting you'll be doing is applicable to everybody from your data extension. So I do transactional, I can make the relevant changes based on what the client will say. Once you do that, click on next. This stage, you enter the data extension, the sending data extension. So data extensions. Drag and drop here. Concentrate on all subscribers only. Suppressions. Now, if you have another data extension, another sending data extension, which normally all organizations will maintain. These will be a list of those people who need to be suppressed from all your emails. Again, don't mistake these for people who are unsubscribed. People who are unsubscribing will automatically get suppressed. Right? Even if their name is there in the sending data extension, if they have unsubscribed, then Marketing Cloud will automatically remove them before send. So that you don't have to worry. But there will be a certain set of people which your client will say, okay, these guys have to be suppressed due to whatever reason. So you need to locate that data extension. Let's assume it's this. This is an assumption. Come here and just drag it here. So my targeting, my suppression, it will always dedupe. You can untick it if required. I would recommend not to. It will dedupe by email address. You have an option for CC and BCC, just like your regular emails from Outlook. You can add a CC, you can add a BCC. So in case you want a copy of the email to go out to somebody, that can be done. But remember one thing, if your sending data extension has 1 million records, then this person in CC and BCC will get 1 million emails. So be very careful when you use this. It should be it should be used only specifically if the client is saying, I would like a copy of all the emails that are going out. And that count ideally should be less. I mean, it shouldn't be 100,000, 200,000, 1 million. Otherwise, client's mailbox will get full. Once you've selected all that, timing, you can send immediately or you can schedule. I can schedule if I want. Now, the zone, right? Now this one, this is not IST. Your zone, your time zone is decided when an account is created. I don't remember what time zone I've selected for all of you. But obviously, once you have a production access, you will know what time zone has been selected for you guys. So if it is PST or some other time, then you will need to select accordingly. Throttling, for those people who know throttling, Funda is the same. But for people who don't know throttling basically means you can meter, or you can like, for example, I can set a delivery window. So suppose I have, say, 1 million, 2 million, or maybe 5 million emails going out. I can say, you know what, it should only go out during the work hours. So between, let's say, 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. And hourly, I should say only 20,000 emails. So what's going to happen is you're setting a window for your emails to go out from, I've done 8:30 here now, 8:30 to 4 p.m. If it exceeds the window, then the remaining will start from the next day. So whatever managed to go between 8:30 and 4, those will go on the same day. The remainder will go the next day in the same window. If it still doesn't complete, then the third day. But it will basically operate as per the window. And also hourly threshold. So remember, you have 5 million, 10 million emails. Marketing Cloud can send out a lot in an hour. But it's not very good to do that, because if you're sending it to, say Gmail or Hotmail, right? I'm not saying you're sending to the same person, but you have multiple people in having Gmail ID. You're sending it to them. So Google will think you're a spammer because you're sending so many emails. Though it's different people, but it's still going to the Google Mail server. Same thing if you're targeting, say, people in eClerx. eClerx has what, 40,000 employees, 20,000 employees. If somebody is sending email to all the 20,000 employees, he will have to put a threshold. Because if he does not, then the eClerx mail server will think somebody is spamming everybody. So that's when you put an hourly threshold. Again, this will all be provided to you prior to deployment. So all those who are going to be doing deployments will be given all this information. And once you are satisfied with this, just say next. My bad. Okay. Let's say next. This is the final preview screen to see what all settings you have done, what all you're selected. You can make changes by going back if you think something's wrong. And if you're satisfied, select this box and say schedule. And then depending if you've selected immediate, then the mails will go out immediately. If you're selected on a certain date and time, it will go out on that date and time. That's how you deploy emails. Any questions? See, it's going to come like this. From name will be like this, and the subject and everything else. Desktop view, mobile view. Any question, guys? The other way to schedule, I believe, is from here. So as usual, it's Marketing Cloud, right? It makes you do the same thing different ways. So if I want to do it from here, I go to interactions, I go to user initiated emails, I say create. And then again, it's the same thing, right? Yeah. So I search for my message. Settings are similar. It looks a little different. Throttling if I want. Recipients. Same way. Sorry. Select recipients in the same way. If I want to do some testing, I can select test audiences in the same way. CC, BCC, and reports. Where do you want your reports? Reports will let them go to default. Once you've done all this, you just save, and then I think you'll be able to. I normally don't use this method. Save. And then like just click on this. I can, if I've added a test list, then I can do a test send, or I can just say send. Again, when I say send, it's going to give you same options of do you want to send it now, do you want to schedule it, and all that will come. So this is another way. In case you don't locate it over here, then you'll have to go through interactions, user initiated emails. And then when I show you Journey Builder, you can then do the same thing from Journey Builder as well. So that's how you can send out emails. Any questions, guys? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. Before we end for the day, let's look at A/B testing. I'm going to just switch instances because I have more data on the other one for A/B testing. But a concept of A/B testing, right? What is A/B testing? So basically, A/B testing can be done for subject line, for content, for time, what time it should go, or what day of the week it should go. It can be done for many things. Normally, subject line is something which is regularly done. Subject line A/B testing tries and helps you get a better open rate. Content A/B testing tries to get you a better click rate. That is the fundamental of A/B testing. But it's a very scientific technology. I'll show you how it's done. For A/B testing, what we normally do is we take the audience and we break up the audience. So let's say we're doing subject line testing. The subject line testing means the marketer wants to test out, say, 2 subject lines. Marketer is not sure which is a better subject line. So he or she wants to test out 2 subject lines. So see how we do it. So what we'll do is we'll take the entire audience or the sending data extension. Normally, you take 10% of the audience first. And the 10% audience, you break it up. If there are 2 subject lines, you break it up 5%, 5%. So then what we do is for the first 5%, we send out the email using the first subject line. For the second 5%, we send out the email using the second subject line. The remaining 90%, they have not received any email, right? They're just waiting. Once the emails go out for 5% and 5%, we wait. Wait time, again, marketer can define, but normally, depending on the list size and all, you can wait for 3 hours or 4 hours. Sometimes you need to wait for a day as well, but you can set it accordingly. Suppose you're waiting for 3 hours. After 3 hours, you will see which of the subject lines, the A1 or the B1, received the most unique opens, right? So let's say subject B received the most unique opens. Now, if that is the case, that means that the second subject line, people seem to be more attracted to that than the first subject line. So then what's going to happen is the remaining 90%, which was waiting, the second subject line will get attached to that email and it will go out to the remaining 90%. So in that way, we can do A/B testing. So all this, what I just said, is what happens when we do A/B testing. So I've done a few A/B testing. So you'll see my dashboard is not empty here. There are some. But most important thing about A/B testing is you need a lot of data. You need your sendee can't be like 10 people, 20 people. It has to be, I would not even say 100. It needs to be much more than 100. Otherwise, there's no point. So if you create a new A/B test, so I'm doing subject line testing. See, you can do subject line testing. You can do email testing. Email testing is also there. Basically, completely different emails. I think that's what email testing means. Yeah. One set of people will get email A, one set of people will get email B. So you can do it that way also. Content area, which is content testing. From names, you can even see an email sent by Mihir as compared to an email sent by Mohit. Is Mohit getting better opens? Maybe because he's more trusted than me, than Mihir. You can even test that. Sending dates and times, and even pre-header testing. So you can do all these testing. The most famous are subject lines and content area. These are the 2 famous ones. Subject line, very, very famous. So let's say this one, then I choose the email. I'm just going to choose. Remember, the email has to be completely ready. If you have AMP scripting, etc. on that email, then the data extension which you are selecting also needs to be compatible with the AMP scripting. In other words, A/B testing can only be done when your data is fully ready and your email is fully ready. Otherwise, you can't do A/B testing. So I'm just selecting. Sorry guys, it's a little slow. I don't use this instance. So I'll just take, okay, let's take this one. I can have multiple, now this is the current subject line on this mailer, but I can change, I can keep that one as it is, and I can change it to, right? So two different types of subject lines. I want to test which one is better. Now again, recipients, I need to choose the sending data extension. So it's a data extension, right? So I'll select the data extension. Now see, it's doing 20%, 20, 80. I want to do 10%. So 5% will get the first subject line, the other 5% will get the second subject line, and 90% will wait till we get a winner. Now, as I said, the numbers have to be big. Now, since this is just 61 people, I think. Yeah, 61 people. It's pretty bad. Like 3 will get one, 3 will get another, and 55 will get the rest. So it's not going to be very obvious, the winner. If you have a bigger number, like 100,000, 200,000, then this is very fruitful. Obviously, you can add the suppression list and things like that. Now that I've done the selection, here is where it is validating the email, checking the AMP scripting and stuff like that. And now the next selection will be the criteria, right? I said most unique opens. So it looks at unique open rate, click rate. Now, since it is subject line, I would prefer looking at open rate. If it is content blocks, I would look at click rates. I'm going to keep it here and I'll say 3 hours. I can start it right now, or I can schedule it when the A/B testing should start. And then, or else I can plan the whole thing and do schedule later. 3 options. Again, this is similar. I'm sure you guys are well aware of this now. I can send email notifications to certain, my mailbox for all these conditions. Email is sent to conditions, winner is declared. If an error occurs, I can send these notifications based on that. And then when I finish, it will start the A/B testing. Now, normally, this is how it looks. I'll just pick up one just to show you how it looks. This one of your colleagues has only done. Okay, wrong example. Sorry for that. So I did this one last year, I guess. But if you see, so this is how it comes, right? So condition A, condition B, these are the two subject lines. Check out what's new in the world of campaign operations. When the going gets tough, campaign ops gets going. So the two subject lines, it's showing me out of the 5%, which ones had the better open rate. So if you see, open rate for condition A was 42.59% and for condition B was 51.85%. Right? So then it will say, it will tell me that the winner is condition B, and then the remainder will get the email with this subject line. So this is how A/B testing works. Now, since you are doing A/B testing yourself, you have some power also in your hands. It's quite possible that sometimes condition A, condition B, the percentage might be very close to each other. So though now here's 42 and 51, so fine. This is like, we know the clear winner. Sometimes you may not know the clear winner. So in that case, though it might say, okay, condition B is the winner, should I send the remaining to condition B? You can bypass that by saying, you know what, it's very close by. I think I'll stick with condition A. So you have that power, because it's not going to send the email automatically. It will tell you, then you'll have to go and see in this dashboard who's the winner and stuff like that. So you can, bypass it. You can say, okay, bypass it. I don't want condition B. I want condition A to go to the winning, to be the winning one, and the remaining people will get condition A. So you have that option to do that. And this is an example of A/B testing. Any questions, guys? Okay, I'm going to take that as a no. So I'm going to end this for today, because what we'll do tomorrow, we'll start with AMP scripting, right? We'll start with the basics of AMP scripting. I'm going to send you some assignment today on personalization and hide and show, so that you guys can practice. And then if you have any queries, then we can take them tomorrow. All right, guys.
Yeah. Hi, Meet. This is Rekha. Hello. Hello.
Hey guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, Meet.
Okay, sorry. I think my speaker was.
Yeah.
So, no queries, right? Anybody, or does anybody have a query? Because I think my speaker switched off suddenly at the last minute.
Yeah, I'm facing some issue with while doing the logging in SFMC. So I have sent the mail to you. Can you please check on that?
What's your name?
Rekha Yadav.
Rekha Yadav. I have not got any mail yet. Yeah.
I'm facing the issue. I have sent an email to IT, but the issue is not resolved yet. For last 2 days, I'm not able to log in on SFMC.
I have not received any
And
of your
I'm not
emails.
able to open the Dropbox. It's showing access denied. Even the IT guy had called me and he set up the thing, but again I'm facing the same issue. It's not yet resolved. Today also
Sorry,
I sent an
you
email.
are breaking up right now. I'm sorry. What are you saying? You can't log into Marketing Cloud, and what else?
It's showing access denied.
Access denied. Okay. Okay. Understood. Understood. So you will need to get talk to IT.
Yes, I have called them. I have emailed them. Okay, and yesterday, 1 day before, I received a call from them. And he said the issue is fixed, but still I'm facing the issue. Even today also I have sent an email. And I'm not able to open the Dropbox as well.
Okay, so instead of Dropbox, I'll give you YouTube. It's also getting loaded on YouTube. You can access YouTube, I'm sure. You can use that. But what I'll do is, if you can send me an email saying you can't access Marketing Cloud, I will talk to IT and get that resolved. Just send me an email because I've not got any email from you. And also the lady who was talking to me earlier, even you have not received any email from you.
So may I know which is your, I mean, official email ID to where I supposed to send? Because I have sent on eClerk's ID.
Yeah, that's correct. Me.tarpade@eclubs.com.
Yes, right.
When did you send it?
1 second. On 13th July.
That's yesterday.
Yes.
I've not got any mail yesterday from you.
Can I re-forward you right now?
Yeah, please do.
Yeah.
Did it exit your box, your mailbox?
Yeah, 1 second.
The rest, if there are no questions, you can drop off. No worries.